CBS Austin's Jamal Kennedy is positioned there for us this morning. So you've been watching the one or two cars that have been going by. What's it looking like, Jamal?
Well, I'll tell you, they're driving by very slowly, Allison and JC. They're taking their time. They're not speeding by. We're positioned just off the frontage road here, off of MoPac here in North Austin, near the 183 Research Boulevard ramp. And I'll tell you, yeah, it's been slow through here. Not a lot of cars. They're taking their time, but what we did see around 7:30 this morning is we saw a car kind of going up that 183 to Research Boulevard ramp, and it actually stopped in the middle of the road. And when it stopped, Teddy, my photographer, and we kind of asked each other, like, what's that car doing? And then 3 or 4 of the cars stopped as well, just in the middle of that incline, which seemed really dangerous. We looked around the corner. There was a car that was already previously stopped further ahead on that ramp. So that's kind of what Brad and these other officials are talking about. That's how dangerous these roads are. You don't really know the conditions until you get up on them, and by then it's too late. I'll tell you, we didn't take that exact route, the highway, to get here. We took the back roads to get to where we are. Those roads were more traveled. They had tread marks going through them. It was a lot easier to traverse those as it would have been to maybe get on the highway, where not as many people have been traveling lately, and that made our drive a lot easier. A lot of other people who are watching, if you have to leave your house, you may want to consider not taking those highways, because not as many people may not have been out there on them. You don't have to drive as fast as you need to. You can slow down on those back roads. You can take your time. You don't have to worry about maybe having to try to slam on your brakes or do anything kind of drastic. But do take your time if you are going to be out there on the roads. It is very cold out here. Think about that as well before you get in your car. If you can, you might want to warm it up ahead of time. Allow that defrost to work on your windshields to melt some of that sleet that's frozen overnight. I know I had to do that this morning before I got in. That little bit of time, guys, it really helps. It goes a long way towards your safety. But of course, the biggest thing, like Brad Wheelis and others have mentioned, that you can do is to stay home. That's the safest way to ensure that you don't end up on the side of the road stranded like that car did and was on the 183 ramp. Allison, JC.
It is definitely still icy there, especially near MoPac and 183. That's where CBS Austin's Jamal Kennedy has been this morning. Jamal, the last time we talked to you, there were a few cars, but everyone was taking it slow.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Allison, they're still taking it slow. But when we talk about resources being used and being seen out on the roads, the city of Austin also is putting their resources out. Slightly before we came on here a moment ago, we saw a city of Austin crew going by here on High Ridge Drive here in North Austin, and they were putting down that solution on the roads to kind of make it a little bit easier to pass and drive through. We've seen a couple of cars coming down that road and turning out onto the frontage road and driving up. That City of Austin crew made its way up the frontage road as well. So City of Austin crews are joining TxDOT crews and getting out and pre-treating these, or retreating these, I should say, to make sure that if you are going to be driving, that the conditions on the roads are about as good as they can get, because it still is icy out here. And in fact, this parking lot that I'm standing in, we kind of carved out a little safe space to stand on, because the rest of the parking lot is not walkable for someone who has lived his entire life, or most of his life, in the South and in the Deep South. This is not something that's familiar to a lot of us. This terrain came into close contact with the sidewalk a couple of times last night and this morning. It is very icy, and this weather, these conditions, the temperatures, as they were mentioned, are keeping things that way. And if things are going to get back into the negatives, Allison and JC, I will say, if I wanted to live that lifestyle, I'd move back to North Dakota, where that was the constant for me every single winter. I moved to Texas and back down south to get away from that. But if that's the life we must live, that is unfortunately the life we must live. I'll just make sure I keep my chapstick on standby and making sure that I'm keeping myself as warm as possible.
Jamal, you will get through this.
Yes,
it happens
exactly.
Once every few years.
Sorry about that, Jamal. Yeah, Mother Nature is going right after you.
Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and get the latest news by downloading the CBS Austin News app.